Don't play with it, don't be dishonest.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So happy that you're here. Thank you to all of the new subscribers we'd have over the last month. I am so excited that you're here. Today's video, I wanted to talk about some of the questions that I've gotten around my fitness journey, choices I've made in terms of switching modalities that I am, focusing on, as well as like why I left the CrossFit community and also why I stopped going to just a public gym and I built an at-home gym within my house. So wanted to kind of address that today and also do a little gym tour so you can see all I have. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first question I got is, I've gotten this question a lot over the years, both in person and through social media, is why I left CrossFit. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. I didn't stop CrossFit. I still do CrossFit style workouts. I just decided to take a break after I transitioned to Utah. So I'll give you a little backstory. When I was in California, I was actively in CrossFit. So while I was in California, I was a lot more dedicated to this like CrossFit fitness lifestyle. I would do like cardio in the morning. I would take classes at night. I would do like one class that was like strictly like strength training. And then I would do like the actual CrossFit class. And then on the weekends, I was like in the gym, open gym. Like I was literally dedicated my whole life to fitness. Not saying that I don't do that now. It's just I have a different balance of what I do. For my workouts, I have a lot different goals set up. I'm not like, competing in CrossFit competitions. I'm not doing like Utah's like mountain meltdowns. I'm not doing Spartan races. I'm not heavily competing. And that's why I kind of pulled out of the CrossFit scene. Now, when I say left CrossFit, I left the CrossFit community that I was a part of in California. And I just chose not to grow the community or be a part of a community when I moved to Utah. There are a lot of reasons behind that. So to clarify, I still do CrossFit style workouts. I still do like CrossFit, things like I still do the open workouts. Do I sign up to compete in the open? I haven't in many years. And I haven't signed up for any competitions since Mountain Meltdown, which, was about like 4 years ago, and I haven't signed up for any Spartan races, which the last one I did was 4 years ago. I have been doing a lot more running and I have been doing a lot more like training for races, but not like CrossFit style workouts. So the why behind it. I decided that when I left California, I had a really good group of friends in the CrossFit community. There are a lot of like ups and downs within that, but it's kind of like a family. You kind of go through these like weird peaks and valleys of like, friendships and whatnot. And that includes the community I built around fitness. I moved from California to Utah. That was a choice of mine. So I knew that I was going to have like a difficult time, like kind of infiltrating the Utah CrossFit scene. The fitness scene here is like none other. There are so many like influencers, fitness people, workout companies, workout classes, different types of workouts. Like it is a huge thing here. So I knew that I was going to have a hard time breaking into this community as an outsider. Just from a culture perspective, like we're different. Like there's a lot of stigmatism around people coming into Utah from different states. They're a heavily religious state. And it just doesn't align with who I am. And so I had a hard time like finding my tribe here. And that's not to like say that like people here are bad or like, whatever. It's just like you have different things and like you're willing to accept people in and you're not willing to, and that's totally fine. Like nobody's judging you for that. So when I moved to Utah, I did join, I think I tried like 2 or 3 different CrossFit gyms. I found a place in Lehigh that I was pretty content with. I did a couple of like CrossFit type of, I wouldn't say competitions, but they were like more of like events, and like I went to some events with them and stuff like that to try to basically create a new community here. I thought I had made some like really cool connections, and then I just started to feel like I wasn't, like I felt like I was trying so hard to be a part of like, I don't want to say like their clique, but like basically their clique, that it just was making me feel and question like myself, my CrossFit abilities, my training, all of those things. So I decided to leave. And for all good things, I then moved out of that area and into a different area. I bought my house, and that commute to that gym would have been just horrific. So I just decided to cut ties with that gym. I had planned on finding a new CrossFit gym locally, and then COVID hit. So when COVID hit, I just decided that I was going to continue like being affiliated with Street Parking. If you're familiar with them, it's like Miranda and Julian's company. They like built this amazing CrossFit community online. I met some really cool friends, and granted, like we kind of lost touch over the years, but like I met some really cool people and we got really close even through COVID. So, I was doing that for a really long time, and then I just kind of got burnt out with CrossFit, and I wanted to start to look at different ways of training to where it was a little bit more gentle on my body. And I switched to dumbbell only workouts, and I decided that I was going to like leap off the edge and create my fitness app. And so that took a lot of time, and a lot of like my training now is testing the workouts that I'm producing for my team, for the people that use my app. And so yeah, I just haven't been following a CrossFit plan. That's kind of the journey that I'm at. I pondered on doing the CrossFit Open this year, but I'm not in the headspace to get back in that CrossFit like grind mentality. So I'll continue to still do like barbell type workouts and some like CrossFit style workouts, but I'm not sure if I'll ever join that community again. So it's kind of like the why I love CrossFit. Okay. Let me think. I should have wrote down all these questions on one sheet, but I like have been tracking them in a doc, and then I switched to my Google Notes. Let me make sure that I don't want to miss any questions. So we talked about why I love CrossFit. Why I left the public gym. That was the other one. Okay, so I went back and forth. So if you know me, you know I am a fitness class girly. I love going to like UJam, High Fitness, yoga, you name it. I love doing those classes. I just felt like I had like a sense of community, and like it was so great to, and I'm talking about this back home, right? High Fitness was here in Utah, but like back home I had like my UGM girlies, like we danced every Friday. Like it was just this community. We went to drinks together. It was just this community of females and males that just loved dancing and moving their bodies, and it was just such an amazing community that I had built back home. I tried to find that here as well. I joined a local gym called Vasa when I first started, and I started taking classes called High Fitness because in my mind it was kind of like an equivalent to UJam. There was some UJam classes here. It wasn't like it was back home. So take that with what you will, like make your own assumptions, but it just wasn't the vibe. And so I tried this High Fitness class because a friend of mine, she recommended it to me. She came out to visit me in Utah and we went to a class and I just loved it. So I wanted to like keep doing it. So I started going to Vasa so that I could take these classes, and you all, oh my God, the judgment I felt coming in. And you know, like I'm going to show you, cause I normally have a sweatshirt on in these YouTube videos cause it's freezing here, but like I'm fully tatted. Like I'm a tatted girly. Okay, so like, look, hi, also Overthinker, thank you, Target, I'll drop the brand, it's a small business, but she launched it in Target with this shirt. Okay, ADD moment here. The vibe that I got from just the stares, the judgment, like the dirty looks, the you can't mean girl sit with me mentality is so strong here. It is so strong here. And you know what? I don't give a shit. Like, you can like me, great. You can not like me, fine, whatever. I'm not going to lose sleep over people I don't know. But it takes like a toll when that is the community that is built here. So I kind of ignored it for a while. I tried to make some friends that I felt like weren't so judgy in there. I always like tried to say hi or like ask people about like the movement or how long have they been coming to the class, you know, just try to be extroverted. And again, like get to know people and try to build a new community here. It did not work out for me. I just decided that it was not worth it to continue to, you know, put myself in situations that I know people were like being super judgy about. So I ended up deciding to not go to those classes anymore. I still was going to the gym. I would like go and lift there. At the time, I had started to build my home gym out. I like bought a barbell, I bought plates, like etc. So I knew that like I had the option to work out at home if I wanted to. It wasn't very much. Like when you go to the gym, like a 24-hour fitness, a Vasa, a Gold's, like you have all the cardio equipment, you have like every single weight of dumbbell, kettlebell, barbell, squat rack, whatever, like you name it, you have it. And again, when I moved from California to Utah, I didn't have any of that. When I first started, I had very little equipment. And so I needed to do my training somewhere. And if I wasn't at CrossFit, then I needed to find something else. So I stuck with Vasa for a while. It was inexpensive. Why I left was twofold. Like, it started to get so crowded and like you would wait for 25, 30 minutes for just one machine. I had been there for like 2-3 hours, like barely got a workout in. It just wasn't like, it just didn't work for me in like my time, like, right? Like at the time I was working in office, I was working 9 to 5. I had to literally like bake out time to go after work, which is the busiest time. And then you don't want to go any later than that because then you're hungry and it's just like a whole thing. And again, it sounds like it might be excuses and it could be for some people, but like that just didn't fit my schedule. So I decided that I was going to stick it out at this Vasa place until I was able to like build like or buy enough equipment to where I felt like comfortable working out at home, which was an insane mentality because you literally can get a good workout with a few sets of dumbbells. However, in my mind, I was like, well, I need all this equipment. I need to be spending like an hour, 2 hours in the gym, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So then COVID hit and all the gyms closed because of COVID. So I was like, well, I'm not going to pay this. So I just canceled my membership at that point. And then I got in kind of like this weird funk of like, what is quarantine? Probably like the entire, country, world. Like, what is this? What are we doing? How do we like stay safe? And also like, how do we not like become super like depressed, etc. from like being stuck in our houses, yada, yada, yada. So fast forward to today, I now have a home gym so that I don't have to deal with the crowds, the time. I can work out whenever I want. If I want to work out at my lunch, I can, whatever. I have the flexibility. I also have an amazing job that, lets me, have flexibility in my schedule if I want to work out on my lunch and then jump back into work or whatever, or leave earlier so that I can jump back into my workout and then hop back on and finish what I have to do. It's super flexible. So I love that. And I think everything kind of aligned to be able to give me that opportunity. And I know that's a privilege, and I know not a lot of people have that opportunity to be able to have that flexibility in their schedule. So I'm going to tell you how to do it when you don't have that flexibility in your schedule and like what you can do to like make it work in this as well, because that's one of the questions we got. So that's kind of like the journey to why I decided to build it at home gym. And then just to kind of cap that off, after COVID, I became this like crazy introvert. I have like severe anxiety, OCD, like I am always anxious. I overthink. Like, it is such a thing for me. And COVID made it so much worse. Like, pre-COVID, I was so extroverted. I was like coaching in person at my friend's gym. I was doing like personal training coaching. I was like teaching dance with my friends. I was like, you know, going to career fairs and like talking to people. And I was just, you know, this like extroverted person. And then COVID hit and I was like quarantined for like 2 years and also working from home. And I just felt like I developed this massive anxiety about being around people. It's taken me a good, probably from 2022. I think 2022 was the first time like I got on an airplane and traveled again, somewhere around there. That kind of related into like why I never wanted to go back to the gym, because I was like, I don't want to be around people. I don't want to get sick. Like, I had COVID multiple times. I ended up getting like long-term COVID issues. I still have long-term COVID issues, and I just like was not having it. And so I continued to add pieces to my gym. I'll tell you how I did that and what that looks like. But that's kind of like why I never went back. My sister decided to go back to the gym at one point, so we then together rejoined Vasa, and I was going with her from time to time, and I was taking the classes again. And I will tell you that the culture in the classes, they didn't change. It was still the same feel, but I also didn't care. Like, I was paying money to be there. I deserved to take up the space that I took up, and it is what it is. If they didn't want me there, whatever, that's on them. Again, we ran into the fact that, you know, machines were breaking, they were dirty, like stuff like you were waiting for multiple machines at multiple times. Like, it just was so chaotic. In my mind, it just wasn't worth it. Like, I have a full gym at home where I can do everything I need to do, see the results, have like growth within my fitness journey, and I don't need to pay someone else to do that. And so that's kind of where we're at, and why I stopped going to the public gym up until now. And hopefully that helps. I feel like I'm rambling, but I hope that kind of shares my journey on like why I quit the gym. But there is a question, and it's the last question I'll answer before we go do an amazing like little walk downstairs to show you a gym tour. But the last question is like, where do I start to build an at-home gym, and how do I do it in a cost-effective way? Okay, first things first is like having the mindset of like your gym and your build out of your gym is going to be a progression over time. And unless you have a ton of money that is like a ton of money that you can spend, unless you're like rich and loaded, whatever, the idea and realization is that you are not going to have this like elaborate gym overnight. It takes time. I've been adding to my gym and adding equipment into my gym to make it what it is today over the course of 10 years. And that goes all the way back from when I had the biggest purchase ever when I lived in California, and I bought a Peloton bike. Like, from that moment on is when I decided I was going to start like adding smaller pieces to my at-home setup. So where to start? So first things first is I would start with something universal that is easy to store and allows you to do a variety of movements and see results over time, and those are dumbbells. So my suggestion, and this can get really pricey here, is getting a pair of adjustable dumbbells, because one, they take up less space, and two, like, they will give you a range of weights so that you can hit a variety of muscle groups, right? Like, you want to hit different weights for your legs than you would hit for your arms. It's just like, you know, and as you grow or as you progress and as you get stronger, your weights will then go upwards and you can graduate getting dumbbells, etc. So I would start with that. Realistically, adjustable dumbbells can run you anywhere from like $100 to $300, maybe even more dollars for just a set of adjustable dumbbells, depending on how many weights are in there for the brand. Now, if you're like, I'm new to fitness, I don't know anything about dumbbells, I don't know anything about working out, this is my first time, like my suggestion is to get 2 pairs of dumbbells only. A pair you would use for lower body, a pair you would use for upper body, and just work out, do a program. Like you can, try my app for 7 days. There's a dumbbell only program. You can try it for 7 days with your dumbbells and see how you do. As you progress over time, you'll want to add more dumbbells to your setup, right? Where to get cheap equipment to do that are 3 different places. I feel like I wrote a post about this a long time ago on my blog. I'm not sure, I'd have to find it. But I kind of list out like all of the places that I've gotten my equipment from. And that's like Facebook Marketplace, Amazon, garage sales. For us in Utah, it's KSL, or back home, it's Craigslist. For really expensive things that you would want to purchase for your gym that are an investment over time, like barbell racks, barbells, plates, whatever, I suggest, if you want to make that investment, going to like Titan Fitness. If you do, don't forget to protect your order. Rogue, I've bought a lot of equipment from Rogue as well. Cap, I think Cap is the other one. There's some really good ones out there, but Titan Fitness and Rogue are my top 2 that I would buy expensive things that I know will last me over time. But to build out your gym, you don't need to go buy the most expensive things. You don't need to go buy a ton of equipment. Like, just start really small, and go from there. If you live in an area where you can get outside and work out, like walking, running, biking, whatever, like hiking, doing all that can be your cardio throughout the week. And then again, getting a pair or 2 of dumbbells to start is a good, easy, not that expensive investment. So that's kind of where I would go with that. I feel like that's pretty much it. There's probably a lot of questions that are going to come from this video, so definitely drop them in the comments and I will answer as many as possible, or maybe we can do a follow-up video as well. But I don't want this video to get too long because I do want to give you a gym tour, and I kind of want to share with you like where I started. Again, when I first started building my at-home gym and the equipment I bought, I had, I think 2 or 3, I think I had 3 pairs of dumbbells. It was like 1 heavy set, which was 20 pounds, 1 medium set, which is like, I think 10 for me at the time. Or it might have been 15. And then I had a pair of like 8s or 10s or something. I had like, like three different sizes. I eventually bought my Peloton bike. And I think that's honestly all I came to Utah with. 3 sets of dumbbells and my Peloton bike. And I'm going to show you over the course of the 5 years I've been in Utah, what we've built at home in our basement. So let's go. All right. We're making the long journey down to our gym. And this is when I talk about like motivation over consistency. Okay. Because motivation is you're going to lose it at some point. Like, motivation is not going to be there for you, and consistency is key. And honestly, like, this is how far I have to walk to go to the gym. I'm going to put that there so I don't drop it. Okay. So let's go. Okay. Do not judge the massive amount of Legos we have. Okay. Ta-da! All right. Let's give you a tour. So here is where I have my cardio equipment set up. This is my very first purchase that was really big, which is the Peloton bike. I added the treadmill when I bought this house. So that was an add-on. And I took a loan out for that. And I've since paid it off, but I wanted to invest in my fitness journey, so I did the Affirm stuff with them. I added this rower when I moved to Utah, when I lived in my apartment down south. I got this on Amazon, and I think it was like $180. Again, big purchase item, but it was investment. And then this is the rack setup I have. Again, got the rack set up when I first moved here with the bench and the barbell and the plates in my old apartment. Since then, I've added a plethora of dumbbells. I believe I gotten those heavy ones on Amazon. These are my very first 20-pound pair of dumbbells I got that I had in my old apartment. And all of these other dumbbells here were gotten at a fitness discount store here in Utah. They have those. I found them on KSL. I've since added a ton of bands to my setup. All of these are on Amazon. That's Levi's green bar. He bought that himself. Okay, this is what I love. I had this installed, and what that is it's installed with a stability board. I don't even know how you say it, but in the middle, so that it comes down. And what it is it's actually a lat pull down. So you just put your bench here, and you have a lat pull down machine, and you use the plates. Obviously, I got my mirror and some straps for the cable machine that I installed up there. You got to have an amp. You got to have a speakers. You have all of your yoga stuff, my medals for all my runs. And then I got this box and some pads for crashing the bar if it gets too loud down here. But that's pretty much it. That's all that I have down here. And I say that's all that I have, but this is a lot of shit that I've accumulated over 5+ years of building this home gym. I did not go out and buy all this stuff overnight. I would be so in debt if that was the case. And I think that you can over time add this to your home setup if that's something that you want, if you can afford that, if you have the space for it, etc. But you do not have to have all this stuff to have a good workout. I have a 6-week dumbbell only program in there. It utilizes maybe 3 sets of dumbbells at max. And I will be coming out with a bands only workout. It will be just resistance bands. So those loop bands, the bigger, longer ones, and then the smaller ones. So that if you want to just do that, those bands on Amazon are $20. So yeah. So that's it. Honestly, this is my setup. It's taken me 5-6 years. You can see why I don't necessarily need to have a gym membership. If you have any questions, if you're getting started on adding stuff, if you want reviews, if you want me to tell you if it's worth it to buy it or not, I will give you my honest opinion. Definitely feel free to drop it in the comments below. I appreciate you being here. It is an honor to have you as a follower. Excited to chat with you next week. We're in the month of March, so we will be dropping a February favorite. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything, and share. We definitely appreciate it. It helps our videos reach the people that are interested in this kind of content, and we'll see you next time.